Welcome back. Bit of sunshine today. Anyway, another episode about Bob and the ongoing assembly and the challenges you're going to face when you assemble a project that you tore apart 6 months ago. Anyway, enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe too. All these algorithms, they help shit, apparently. I don't know. If you want to contact me, Church House Classics, it's all one word, @gmail.com. And if you fancy supporting me, because I know a load of you just do not get to the end of these videos, it's pointless me putting it at the end of the video, but if you fancy supporting the channel, there's a PayPal me link thing down here. Now, if you use the PayPal me link, it shouldn't actually charge you anything for it, because a number of you has been saying to me, don't use PayPal because of the fees. Well, it's friends and family. There's no fees. Anyway, enjoy. Getting ready to put this back wing on. So I've obviously drilled all the holes out here, put a little bit of Dynax S50 over the holes just to give them some protection. The liner has gone on the outside. Dynax mats shut in here. This stuff really does tighten up the surface quite a lot, yeah, and up here as well. That's not getting covered over just yet. But if I compare with the other side, you've got to bear that noise in mind. That's what it was like before. So Dynax really does make a big difference. You don't need to go and cover every single square inch of the panel, because obviously we've got these big strengthening ribs in here, which is there designed to cut down on the noise. But these in here is definitely a nice, dull, solid knock to it. So that's that. So I can put the wing on now, I think. So let's balance you over here. Can you see? You can. Very fucking nice. Still needs a damn good polish. It's dusty. Now, the gap at the top here, this lip on the bottom of this rubber section here, this bit here, can you see it better on the other one? No, because the other one's not fitted. This lip, they always crack and they craze, and this metal lip on the bottom at the stainless section should actually go inside it. You never get them back in again because it's too brittle. So what I do is I chop them off here around that edge there, flush, front to back, just the outer kind of flange, and then I get from Woolies trim, I get a piece of trim that looks almost exactly the same as that and put it over the top, and that completely covers over the gap then with the outer wing. Almost ready to put the glass on this side. I've got to do a bit more painting up here and so forth, but then I can get the glass in. A couple of pop rivets down there, sort that filler out, bish bosh, paint, there we go. Lovely jubbly. Oh yes. Right, quick progress update. Ben came over yesterday. He was learning a bit more about pissing around with old cars. It's kind of an area he wants to get into. I'm more than happy to help him. He's a son of one of my wife's friends, and he went to school with my sons to start with, and he ended up going down a different secondary school route. But anyway, he's keen to learn about old cars. I find it quite difficult to get into that area, so he comes over. And we do ship. It's quite useful actually. Right, so this is the driver's side rear quarter. So we stripped the paint off the really visible areas, and it's in far better shape than the one that was on the other side. There's a couple of small dents. You can see the low spots. as we sand it out using, so there's a few low spots, nothing particularly horrendous. I'm going to take all this blue paint off as well, but I'm going to use the zip wheel to do that. Once again, use the needle scaler, noisy bastard, on the inside edges there. You do need ear defenders with that, I'm afraid, folks. Your ears will be whistling. I did a bit more work on this driver's door, but not a lot. Kind of got distracted. So really just treated all the edge on it. We started to work out what we're going to do about the driver's edge, and then I got fed up with it. So I parked it out here like this. And then we faffed around with the driver's side rear wing. Now, I don't know if you remember, but this thing had a huge kind of great cracked load of filler all round here. Oh, you're looking at the fucking cable. Sorry folks, I'll move the fucking cable out of the way. Yeah, so there was a whole load of dried, cracked filler and stuff around here. Now, this whole panel from there to there had about a centimetre of thinner on it at the worst point, and about a millimetre skim across the entire thing. As far as I can see, there's a dent which has occurred about here, okay, on this lower edge. That bottom lip was folded right over, and you can see here where I've started to mark now where I think the stress points are. We've got one stress point left in there, but it's got a lot smaller. When I first started on this, that bastard was going around like that. So it's getting better. I think this wing is salvageable. That's that. I painted the A-post. That's got his top coat on it now. Very fucking nice it is too. Needs a wee polish, but I'm well chuffed with that. I also took the opportunity to do the roof rail along here, and also got rid of that scratch. That's not pickling, that's just where the kind of the dusting has taken place. Got rid of that scratch at the top of the wing there, and painted in the B-post. Very nice, I hear you all say. And then as I was painting, the bloody gun spluttered and ran out of paint, so it's kind of gone on really thin up here, but I think it will polish out. I'll get the polish on it in a second. Trouble is, because of the contours of this thing, you kind of got to be very, very, very gentle with it. So that was yesterday's progress, really. Quite a lot of it. Obviously the back wing's on, but you saw that already. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to save myself all the editing bother, and I'm going to do another update in a minute. Well, it's in a minute for you, but it's at the end of the day for me. And then tonight I'm heading down to Devon because I've got to clear a load of scrap out of the barn because my dad's getting frustrated about it. Yeah, I'll move forwards with this. I might have a solution for the brake situation. Hey. And being a complete ham-fisted gibbon, I forgot to tell you that I largely painted the shut faces on the door. So a lot of this now is kind of just really ready for the door to be hung back onto the car. I haven't done the hinge edge yet because I need to prep and paint the hinges. I also want to paint the closing face before the hinges go onto it. So that's my challenge. First thing today. That's the first thing I want to do. It's like the gun ran out of paint up here as well. It's just splattered on. It's going to need flatting back. Bastard! The rest of it's alright, it's just that edge there. It serves me right for bloody trying to use every ounce of paint in the gun. I didn't realise it was running out. There we are, watch the paint levels in your gun, folks. Now I'm going to need to crack on with doors, I think, so let me lift that out. Dropping it. I can come out of the way, because I'm going to get on with the needle scaler as well. So while I'm putting paint on, I can work with the needle scaler over there, you see. I painted the inside edge of the fuel filler, but only because it's going to end up with stuff over the top of it. I just wanted to seal the primer. I've not done anything with the rest of it. Still needs that flatting, it still needs a skim of filler on there, and it still needs priming and top coating. It's a step closer. Just need to paint one side, now not both. Oh, there's the door hinges. Right. So I need to clean these two back and get them painted. I'm probably inclined not to take everything off them. The problem with door hinges is they need to move. And when you paint them, sometimes you hide that. So what I'm inclined to do is to paint them in the closed position and then open them and dust them in, or vice versa. I don't know yet. I'll work it out as I go. I can't remember how I did them last time. Drawing towards the close of another busy day. Headlight units. These are ring units. 25% extra power. So you notice that the kind of the direction is actually on the reflector, not on the glass. The glass is clear, smooth. Slightly different look, but I can get away with that. I got around the problem with the missing push rod for the servo. So Famous 4 were able to provide a push rod kit, and believe it or not, the master cylinder repair kit came with the metal washer and the infamous rubber washer. So I've got all the bits now. In order to get the master cylinder set up, I need to work out what length this push rod needs to be, because obviously I don't want the brakes to be under any pressure whatsoever. I just need to work out exactly how to do that. That won't be a problem, fairly straightforward stuff. What else have I been doing? I got to the bottom of, so basically the new bearing arrived. So this is the bearing that goes at the top of the steering column. Old bearing, new bearing. Unobtainable, Jeep. You getting that? There you go. Jeep bearing, exactly the same dimensions, diameter, everything. So I'm going to pop that in there, and then I'll hold it in nice and tight, put the shims back on, and see if we can get this top bearing to behave itself. I'll do that off camera. I don't need to do that with you lot watching. It'll just distract me. Door. So I put the final coat on the door shell, which I'm pretty chuffed with actually. It looks alright, that. I can live with it. I mean, these ribs are the bits that really show. So I've painted that right the way around, and I've also kind of just touched in the top of the B post where it had a problem, i.e. the paint gun ran out. Yeah, so that door now is ready for me to fit up, and then I can work on the outer skin. That's good enough. And then I started fucking around with the top rail that goes above the side window. I think they're going to be serviceable. We'll see. But in the meantime, I've had enough. And I am early night for me, but I've got to drive down to Devon tonight. So I'm going to be fanning around with this, see if this goes on. If it does, brilliant. If it doesn't, then I've lost nothing. Well, I've lost 40 quid on a part, which I'll just shift back onto eBay, because there you go. Sell it for £3 cheaper than the German dealers are selling it for. And I'll just put it down to experience. I'll see if it fits. Right, it hasn't really fixed it. So it's the old bearing in here. You can see it's actually the bearing inside the housing where the movement is. It's not the inner part of the bearing. So I'm going to have to work out what I'm going to do about that. I might try the new bearing. I might try and see if I can find a better housing. I'm seeing Tim Hammond at Partsman this weekend, so he may actually have a better steering column than this one. For now, I'll leave this. Pain in the ass. Wiper motors. This one's a Delco from the back end, the B-day on a Range Rover Classic. And it's quite common for these bastard things to seize up solid and the motor to overheat. Now, I have done what you're not supposed to do with these things and taken it apart. Oh yes, Ben's been here helping me. Say hello, Ben. Hello. So all I've done really, filed the heads off the burrs on each of these corners, taken the gearbox cover off, removed the circlip from that side there on the main gear wheel, there he is, and then I've been able to remove the gear wheel. Then I put power to the motor. You can see I've actually cut the loom on this thing, but you could actually just put power across the two wires that go to it. And the motor turns freely, happily, no problems at all, buzzes away like a good one. Okay? So we know the motor's good. So then we start looking at the shaft for now. And what I found was the shaft itself, if I balance you up on the table up here, so you can actually see what the heck I am doing. Shaft goes in there, and the idea is it just cranks backwards and forwards as the wheel moves around, blah, 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 blah. Problem is, this thing seizes solid inside this tube. Yeah, they all do that, sir, you keep saying. Ah, no. That, okay, I've given it a little bit of a clean, but it wasn't excessively rusty. Now, there are two fibre bushes in here. There's one there, and there's one at this end here. okay, and I could not get this shaft to go through those bushes for now. So I basically just run a drill through them, and the only way I was able to get this thing out, by the way, was by putting the nut on the end there and giving it a fair clout with a 3-pound persuader. Now it actually started to move this tube out as well, okay, but it did eventually start to inch its way out, and then it finally popped out. Now all I've done once I've disassembled it is to ream these two fellas out, ream these two bushes in the shaft breasts. I just had to add that in there, sorry. Very childish, Richard. So that was that, really. So I'm going to reassemble this thing now. There was no ring on here. I took it off because I couldn't work out why it wasn't going up inside, and it is now. So now I think I'm going to reassemble, make sure the park switch works, and sod it. I'm going to put this back into service again. That works beautifully. I don't know what they make these two fellas out of, but they're very swollen. Swollen shaft that needed reaming.
Bad news.
Right, fully assembled. Black earth connected to chassis. Then I've got two wires. One will be the park, one will be the feed. So let's try earth. It's not working again, Ben.
What? There it is.
I see, it was parts. Black wire, earth. I'm going to get my hand out of the way because I'm a big ham-fisted gibbon. Brown is the live feed. Happy enough, isn't it? And then white is the park. Oh, which was parked already. So let's just see if it parks. Yes, it does. Fixed. How about that? Finally getting onto this bloody driver's door. Right, so I've got the new skin roughly in place, and I've made up this new edge on the hinge edge, which I really just did using a piece of flat steel, a hammer, and the anvil thing, whatever, a bit of HB. Then marked up the holes, cut them through for the holes, for the hinges and so forth, and I'm just about to drill a couple of pilot holes through here, 4 pilot holes, so that when it all comes apart, I know exactly where it's going to go back to, because at the moment that is perfect, really. And then obviously zinc prime underneath it before it goes berserk. Now I haven't done anything about this edge along here. I'm going to get this piece on first. Once this piece is on, then I can fuck around with the rest of it. Make sense? There we go. It's quite nice, isn't it? Right, on to, I don't know if I videoed this or not, so it's probably going to be a load of editing. I managed to pick up a whole load of bits and bobs from Tim last week. Oh, I did manage to fix the wiper spindle. So this is quite a common fault with the Range Rover Classic. So look at that. The wiper spindle sees up solid. These bastards on the end here. And all I do is grind through the end of the plug, because it goes right the way through the arm. Okay, it's splined, so that would sit on there like that. So grind through the end, so you can see I've done that. Bang it out with a drift, and then you'll find that this thing is absolutely and utterly rammed inside the tube. So what I then do is tap it backwards and forwards until it eventually gives up, clean all the rust and shit off it, and then when it all goes back together, which is very soon, just pop that back in again, clamp the arm onto the bottom edge. I just put a double weld on it just to hold it all together, and I think that's going to do the job, in all honesty. So that's that. What else have I been doing? Oh, I painted around here. 10% battery left, so I'm going to have to get on with the welding in a minute and not videoing. So I painted the A post and the B post. So it's pretty much all the painting on the body frame now is done. So really, next time I'm painting, it's going to be a case of the car will be covered over. So I can actually start moving forwards quite rapidly with getting things like interior and so forth in. I'll put the rear cross members across. It's 2 intermediate boot floor cross members. Heel boards in. Checker plate, I haven't cut to size yet, but it will be very soon. And that's been it. I had a COVID. My second COVID stab was yesterday. And I must admit, I'm feeling a bit shit from it. Achy joints and stuff. But, you know, I'm going to be achy joints whether I'm sitting at home watching some shit on the telly or here. I've just noticed this door, the bottom edge is pushed in a little bit there. That's going to need a little bit of dressing out. I'll soon be able to do that. Yes, things are actually starting to come together quite rapidly, and this door is now all beautifully shimmed up. As you can see, I've painted the shut faces. That's all done. Don't get better than that, does it? And I put the seal orf on this side. I can put the seal orf on the other side now as well. They're bastards to put in, they really are. There are no tips or tricks because I'm probably doing it wrong. But they do go in. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to get one of these things in. Obviously I'm protecting the paint. But it's in, and also the door closes easily. So these seals, they came from Famous 4. Last time I did this job, I was using brick part seals, and they just would not fit. So these ones are to the correct profile, very squashy. Came from Famous 4. Famous4.co.uk, because you guys asked me where I get shit from. There we are. This isn't shit, by the way. Where I get stuff from, and that's where I got those from. Yes. Okay, so I think next it's going to be a case of finishing this bloody door off, getting it done, because I'm sick to death of looking at it and thinking, am I going to get another door? 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 Am I going to get a door? No, we're going to fix this one. But that, it should have the flat edge on it. Now, yonks ago, I did actually make this template up here. So I made this template, and these lines across here represent the ribs. So in theory, kind of I folded it all up to measure exactly how long it needed to be. And it was a bit of a kerfuffle, really. So now I've got the rough idea of the measurement, and then rather than use this to work out where the holes need to go, they just started crunching concrete again, so I'm out of here. I used a spray up on the inside to spray through from the back, drilled through the corners, ran an angle grinder over the top of it, cushed it. Right, so I'm going to get on with this, and I'm going to charge my camera up because it's flat. There we go. Well, that's it. Plug welded onto the end there. That's built the strength of the door shell back up. Everything lines up nicely. Door skin's going to fit beautifully. Right, only other thing I need to do now, there's a strengthening rib that goes down the inside of the panel. I've made that just out of a bit of 20 gauge steel. And then there's a brace that goes up against that. So that's the next piece I'm going to weld in. And then I can start working on a couple of isolated rusty holes at the bottom down here. And get the skid on this thing. I'll paint the inside of the shell first of all. I'll give it a damn good going over with some acrylic 2-pack primer. Going to need a damn good clean out first and foremost. There's a lot of shit in here. Might be easier actually to paint the inside of it with Dynax. In fact, there's some rust treatment down here. Look. Don't know what the fuck that is. It's gone hard. Banal. Right. Here's going to be a bit tricky to do this piece. What I'm probably going to have to do is take this bracket out and then weld a section in. That shouldn't be too much of a problem there. But yeah, doors coming together. I'm knackered. COVID's fucking jab is really starting to piss me off because I didn't feel this shit. Well, I probably did feel this shit when I fucking had it, but it's just every joint is aching, and I'm not going to stop moaning about it now. Back in the workshop tomorrow morning. Great Scott. Right. Brake pipes are all in. Wow. The front end brake pipes are all in. I ran out of bloody connectors. These ones, these are 7/16, but to take 3/16 UNF, sorry, 3/16 pipe. So the 7/16 UNF, and I need one down here for the back brakes. But the rest of it is kind of all in place. Why is that not tight yet? I haven't tightened that up, have I? I hope I flared it. I have flared it. Right, okay, just needs tightening up. That's fine. I'll do that in a second, because otherwise what happens is I forget and it won't get tightened up. So they all need tightening up. Other than that, I've done the square root with fuck all today. It's all been about brake pipes. Still feeling a bit under the weather, but it's been quite therapeutic doing all this shit. I love it. Ah, nice, huh? Routed them all round the top end of the bulkhead up there. Yeah, very smart. It's been it really, and then just tidying other cables around and about out the way, tidied the loom, so connected that up at the top there, put another connector down there for the pressure differential warning actu whatever. Yes, so that's had new seals in it. Not too freaking tired for that, I tell you. Yes. And the only other thing I did today, of any note whatsoever, I put the courtesy light switch in. Yes. That closes nicely, doesn't it? Oh, yes. Saturday afternoon at the workshop. Right. Filling in some of the bits on this door. So this is the hinge edge on the inside. Obviously it all needs dressing back, but I wanted to get the structure of the outer frame back into one piece. So I've just been kind of zipping these little bits in. It's going to end up with a skim of filler, I know it. Reinforcing plate went on the inside. There's a little bit of a kind of, that needs shrinking there. I'm going to have to work on that. And now I'm going to go on to this bottom edge down here. So it's just going to be going to cut chunks out. Weld lumps of steel back in again. That's all I can really do. A little bit like this. Then flat it back. Some of this stuff, I mean, like there's a pinhole there. I'm going to see if I can just clean that back and fill it up, because I don't really want to be cutting out where I don't need to. I mean, clearly that needs to be dealt with, that bit there, as does that bit there, as does that bit there. Is that close enough for you folks? But some of these little pinholes here, I don't think really are going to need too much. I'll clean it back with the, I'm not going to use the angle grinder, it's too aggressive. Maybe get the needle file on it just to see if there's any, or how much clean metal there is around it. So something like that, a hole that sort of size, you can just fill it up with plug. Put a piece of copper, I've got a welder's helper somewhere. Very useful for this kind of shit. Where are we? Well, that will do it, but there's something that's got a handle on it. Where's the one with the handle on it? There it is. Nice. So all you do, that was from, I mean, a nice bit of advertising for Frost, but you get them from all over the place. Just put that underneath it, fill the hole with weld. There you go. That's all I do. There's quite a few screw holes and things, additional screw holes and things on this that need kind of filling up. I'm not going to go absolutely fucking berserk with it though. A lot of this area here ends up with a trim panel over the top of it, but I do need to get this back into shape. And I think it's the welds that I put on the reinforcing plate that cause this to bow out of shape, along with that obviously tying in. Once it's all flatted back, you're not going to know. You will not know I've been here. And then someone will be able to advertise this as a rock-free door on eBay at £1 million. And you're going to say, but no, I've seen Richard. And I've seen Richard at Church House Classics, and he tells me that these things are rotten on the core, on the frame. Well, they are. I'm rambling now. I've got to do that piece as well up there. Now, a lot of this will have been because of the last kind of days when this car was being used as an off-roader, I fear, and that it just sat with salt water on areas of it. Because the majority of this door down here, like I say, is really in very, very good. There's no corrosion on the inside at all. All this corrosion has occurred from the outside, working its way towards the inside. Here we go. Up and under here. We're looking at the inside edge now. Still got paint all over it. Yeah? All of that edge there. So I'm inclined to think that, yes, plug weld it. And then I'm going to go over the rest of this, tidy everything up, get all the surface rust off, treat the surface rust, seam seal from the inside. It's a nice sharp bit of metal there. Oh yes, we love sharp bits of metal. Let's pull that off. It's going to come off. It might have to keep Mr. Flappy fucking disc on that one. And then paint the whole of the inside of this thing. That's the strengthening rib that I put in there. The door's upside down at the moment, clearly. This is the bottom for now. But yeah, I think we're almost done with this. And here you can see where the potholes were, the pinholes were. You can see the metal's all really clean on the inside. So it's just very much localised stuff. So I've got no real harm in just plugging these up, getting them sorted out. You don't need to watch me do that, because I can turn the radio up and just get on with it. But I mean, with a surface like this, I have been over it. I've attacked it. There's no, apart from this bit here, there's no real kind of areas of concern. That I'll plug weld. That I'll plug weld. That I'll just cut it out because it's too big to plug weld. But that stuff I can fill those in.